And then I send you the recording, actually, too. And I send it to my coaching group also. And let me go live stream. Okay, girlfriend, we are live on Facebook. I just need to do a couple things.
All right.
Okay, so I have it now. So like if you go to my page and you can hit the share button.
Hey, there I am. Share.
Y'all hold on. We about to get it started, okay? Let me pull this up on my phone too. We about to get it started, okay? Let me pull this up. All right. Okay, that way I can see if anybody says anything. All right, you guys. Welcome to Real Estate with Alita. You know, Tuesdays we do the real estate, okay? So as you guys know, I'm a real estate agent with Realty One Group. I've been in real estate 23 years, okay? I also just became a licensed mortgage loan originator in all 50 states. So I can, help with that too. But right now I'm with Realty One Group, and my NMLS loan license is hung with Capital Federal Credit Union. So I bring you these every Tuesday because I was like, there's so much. Times is changing, things is always changing. And one of the biggest questions right now, when people are buying a home, especially in certain areas like Orville, places, everybody want to get out of the city, right? Y'all want to get out of the city. I totally get it. I totally get it. I would get out of the city too, but I'm scary. Okay. I can't be no bears, no lions, no coyotes, no none of that. All right. But some of y'all can. So there's some, when you buy a home, in order to close on the loan, okay, if you're buying cash, doesn't matter, but you should still have it. But when you're getting a loan, your loan officer is going to ask you, or they should ask you, you guys never let a loan officer pick, okay, your insurance, okay? A good loan officer is going to ask you, do you have a homeowner's insurance company that you like me to get the insurance from, okay? I always tell people try to call your car place, because sometimes when you get bundles, you get like a discount. But there's other little stuff, and other details you should really, really know. So that's why I got my girl Cristi.
Hi.
Yeah. So she can kind of explain all this stuff. All right. Like, we're going to talk tonight about homeowners insurance and what to look for, the terms and stuff. Just because your car place gives you a good deal, but there's still certain terms. She's going to talk about, you know, um, I know you guys all already heard that it's hard to get homeownership insurance and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about that too. And then we're going to throw in some renters insurance, which people really, really need also. And anything else my girl wants to talk about. So the floor is yours.
Great. First, I wanted to say hug your insurance agents right now. We're going through it. So,
Two, like real estate agents.
and real estate and lenders, boy. No, my job got about 5 times harder with all the carriers pulling out of California. The California Fair Plan is a force to reckon with. Um, Talking about Oroville and all the places kind of in the foothills, yes, if you need a California Fair Plan, can sometimes take 2 weeks to get approval for a quote.
What is that?
California Fair Plan is when a home is in a high fire line, so it's in a brush area, basically. Um, Pollock Pines, even Auburn,
How about
all
Plymouth
those
Lake?
rescue, Lake, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Any of those, if they're in a high fire line, what happens is none of the normal carriers will accept the fire portion of a homeowner's policy.
Mm.
Because of this unprecedented fires that we've seen lately, they all said, hey, we can't take on this risk. So what happened is all the insurance companies pooled in together and the Fair Plan's been around for a long time, but now we need it. And boy, did they make their infrastructure better. They hired better so that we could place the fire portion of these homeowners' policies somewhere. Because of the risk, the premium's going to be higher, but there's ways to bring that down. Higher deductibles, there's some discounts they have. Um, so the California Fair Plan covers the fire portion. The rest of it's called a wrap or a difference in condition policy. That you can get with your normal carriers, and that's going to cover everything else but fire. So
Mm.
that's going to be theft of your personal property, your liability, water claims, that kind of thing. So that policy is very inexpensive because they remove the fire portion and have kind of the insurance companies share the cost and the risk of the fire in those high fire line areas.
That's not a really good idea to remove not have fire, right? Insurance.
Right. You
Okay.
want both policies to make a normal homeowner's policy.
Oh, wow.
So that's why run these addresses. So if you're a realtor or if you're looking to buy a home in one of these areas, make sure that you look for insurance early and get a few options ready because that can make or break a loan if if you get quoted by your and never quote how much you think it's going to be as a realtor because I can't even do that.
Oh,
You
wow.
want to give like if someone throws an address at me, we run it through farmers, see if we require the fair plan or not.
Mm.
If we do require the fair plan, we let them know and then we kind of get the rates ready for them so you know what you're purchasing going into a new property.
Wow. So you're with farmers, right?
Farmers insurance, yes.
Farm insurance. Okay. So farmers, I know like some other insurance companies, they're not doing homeowners insurance at all, right? So
Yes.
farmers insurance still is.
Yes, we are.
Okay. And they also have the fire where you could get the fire insurance too, right?
Yes. So we write the difference in condition policy and then we go to fair plan to write the fire portion.
Oh, wow. So when
Yes.
somebody is buying a home, and like I said, some people go with their car place and stuff. Besides what you just said, the terms with the fire stuff, what other terms should they be looking for that you have seen that sometimes, what are strong terms, I guess what I'm saying?
Yes. So consider higher deduct like tips and tricks to kind of get the quotes down or the rates down.
Well, that too, and just to make
Hmm.
sure you have the best insurance to protect your.
Yes. So for your policy, the policy what's really important to me is the liability portion of the policy. If someone slips and falls in your home or in front of your home,
Oh.
dog bites, if you are sued for anything you might be negligent for,
Mm.
as long as it's not intentional, so no bar fights are going to be covered. But this covers you if you're sued, and it's so litigious right now in California.
Mm.
We have fraudulent lawsuits all over the place, or just people just asking for so much money. That's kind of why you're going to see your rates going up soon. If you haven't already, I'm sure you've all seen it.
Yeah.
Um, but that is if you're sued, and homeowners, we recommend at least 500,000 liability.
Mhm.
That's you're putting up a shield on how much your insurance company pays before they can go after your assets. So
Okay.
they can go after your savings, your checking,
Mm.
um, any investments you have, that kind of thing. We also recommend an umbrella policy on top of that for homeowners.
And what's an
That
umbrella policy?
an umbrella gives you 1 million on top of that, $1 million additional liability, like supplemental.
So you have 500,000 and another million. Okay.
Yes, if you have enough assets
Mm.
to protect. So
Okay.
when I started with a 1 million when I owned a home,
Hmm.
that's just what we recommend.
Yeah.
Um, and then when I bought the business, I went up another million. So, it depends
Mm.
on what you have, how much of a target you are. If it looks like you have money, like if you're a landlord, and you have a few properties, definitely invest in an umbrella because you're going to be seen as a target. You're going to be named in any lawsuit that your tenant has.
Mm.
Get that umbrella. It
I
is
totally forget
important.
about the rental properties for landlords
Yes.
stuff.
The
Wow.
triggers for umbrella are if you have dogs because of dog bites, if
Hmm.
you have a pool because they are
Hmm.
dangerous.
Hmm.
You tend to have a lot of people maybe with some drinky poos.
Yeah.
So, anywhere there's a little more risk, highly recommend it. And if you're a landlord, because you don't know what your tenants are doing or who they have in their house or what pets they have in their house and what they're doing.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
those are the triggers to absolutely get an umbrella.
Wow. So
Hmm.
the deductibles, what are the
Yes.
deductibles again?
So, deductible is you set a certain amount of money. Right now, when I first started insurance 23 years ago, I think we kind of match how
Oh,
long we've been
yeah.
in our businesses. Yep.
Yes. Wow.
Um, when I started, the normal was $500. You pay the first $500 if there's a claim,
Hmm.
and the insurance company pays the rest.
Hmm.
It turned into $1,000. Inflation, everything goes up,
Hmm.
$1,000. Now, insurance carriers are looking hard at claims. So, we are kind of recommending people maybe a $2,500 deductible if you can afford it. If you cannot, do not get a higher deductible. But
Hmm.
if I can put $2,500 on a credit card, if something happens to my home,
Hmm.
that'll save me money on premium and I won't be turning in these little claims.
Yeah.
Insurance is for sudden and accidental losses, fires in the home,
Hmm.
storm damage, burst pipes, not wear and tear. Your insurance will never cover wear and tear. Um, your home warranty might, that's totally separate type of policy, but
And I was
the
thinking about that when you said burst pipes. Should they call the home warranty and not the insurance company or no?
depends on if they cover it or not,
Okay.
and depends on what the cause is. If it's, a leak, if there's a slow leak, then that's usually a maintenance issue, which
Hmm.
is not an insurance issue. I kind of equate it to your car insurance. If your car just kind of pulls off the side of the road and stops working because it's old, you don't
Yeah.
call your insurance company, right? It's
Yeah.
maintenance. You got to
Yes.
maintain your
Yes.
car.
Yes.
If you're in an accident and collide with something,
It's
then
insurance.
you call your insurance company. So
Yeah.
similar with the if your roof's old, just get it fixed.
Hmm.
But if you let it rot and the rain starts coming in and you now have dry rot coming down and the ceiling's bubbling, that is a maintenance issue.
Wow.
So we get that question a lot. But if you're on vacation and the water line to your refrigerator bursts and you come home in two
Forgot
inches of
about
water,
that.
that's a homeowner's claim, sudden and accidental.
Oh, wow. So, and then once you like do a claim, your insurance goes up, right?
Yes, it goes up. For us, you lose the claims free discount for 3 years.
Hmm.
So that's one reason, kind of be careful. If your deductible is $1,000 and the total claim amount is $1,100, right?
Yeah.
Just pay that extra 100. Don't turn the claim in,
So you
right?
okay, so you said they will drop you or what? What's
No,
oh, okay. What did you
no.
say for the 3 years?
The rate will be higher for 3 years.
Oh, the rate will be higher for
Yes,
3 years.
yes.
Okay. Wow.
And we used to accept three claims in 3 years. Now we only accept one claim in 5 years.
What?
Some carriers don't
Oh,
accept any claims right now.
wow.
Well,
Wow.
most of the big carriers are gone. They're not
Yeah,
writing
that's
anything
true.
new. The ones that are here are so have tightened their underwriting so much. We're one of the only ones that do write the claims and the, wood
Mhm.
shake roofs and some of these old electrical
Oh
panels.
my goodness.
But if we can't write it, we then look for someone else who can help. So we have a brokerage, we can look for other options for clients that maybe have a few challenges with the house.
So the higher the deductible, is your monthly payment lower?
Yes.
Mm.
Higher your deductible. So the more you kind of self-insure,
Mm-hmm.
the lower your premium is because you're going to take care of the little things. So
Mm.
you won't be dinging the insurance company and they reward people for that.
Okay.
So they say, hey, you have a, $2,500 deductible or a $5,000 deductible. You're
Mhm.
not going to turn in these tiny claims. You're just going to take care of it as a homeowner. So we're going to lower your premium. So your yearly premium will be lower.
Okay.
So
So
that's one thing.
to get this straight, like when somebody buys a house and they could get this the payment part of their monthly payment,
Hmm.
all rolled into one.
Yes.
So when you guys raise the price, then their mortgage payment goes up, right?
Yes, mine just went up. I had to replenish my escrow account. So yes, it's
Oh,
it's
wow.
happening. Yep.
Do you guys, how much notice does an insurance company give people letting them know? Or do they give
Um,
notices?
about 60 days you get your renewal,
Okay.
and they usually put the old premium, new premium. Then call your carrier, talk to the people and say, "Hey, how can I lower this down again so my monthly payment doesn't go up?" Usually they can help, you know, talk through the deductibles or work on your coverages. There's things you can do to help lower it. But if it does go up, you just, like everything's going to go up,
Mhm.
um, you just need to change your monthly payment or replenish your escrow account
Okay.
for that change.
Okay. So you guys, when you guys are getting homeowners insurance, you need to make sure you add that fire and make sure you have that liability, right?
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
and
When
try to get the highest deductible if you want to have lower monthly payments. But if you want higher, but if you have a lower deductible, then your payment's gonna be a little bit higher. And then don't forget the insurance, you guys could actually they could raise the rates whenever they want to, right? Or does
admitted
it have to be at renewal?
only on renewal.
Oh,
So
only on
you'll get
renewal.
you'll get warned. Yeah, they cannot raise or lower rates midterm
That's a good.
unless
Okay.
unless they add a coverage or something, but we need
Okay.
permission to do that. Um, admitted carriers, like the big carriers that you're used to hearing about, they're admitted, which means they are under the regulations of the state of California. So they have to get every rate increase, every discount, though, every rate decrease approved by the state of California. And that's a
Mhm.
little bit of why we're in this mess with insurance right now. They wouldn't allow insurance to raise rates for about 4 years. So now they're catching it up and they're
Mhm.
giving little rate increases here and there. But that's the only way these big carriers are going to come back if they get right to be able to handle these big claims that are coming out that we're not used to and the unprecedented inflation. How much are eggs right now, right?
Oh, good God.
Everything's going up and the cost of claims are not going down.
Yeah, I passed right by them the other day in the grocery store. I was like, oh,
Mm,
no. Mm-mm.
I haven't been eating eggs like I
And
was.
I said, I think I like 4 or 5 at home. That's enough. I don't eat that many eggs. Now I don't have no kids, don't have to do no Easter egg stuff.
There
So,
you go. They had something where you paint potatoes instead of
yes,
eggs
that's
this
what I was about
year.
to say. Yeah, it's gonna be potatoes this year. Yeah, poor kids.
Uh-huh.
Poor kids. I'm
Uh-huh.
glad my kids are grown. Um, now, what about like renters insurance? What should people look for? And and my question is, how do you guys know is I know you got to go on the word and stuff, but you guys don't go to the house and look at what people have, do you?
No. A lot of times, when your house burns, your apartment burns, we can't tell what you had even before. So no, it's based on honesty. I mean, you don't want to commit insurance fraud and say you had something huge when you didn't, but basically it's you pay for how much coverage you think you need to replace your items. So I have some with 5,000 in coverage. I have some with 100,000, and that wasn't even enough.
Oh,
So
wow.
I have some that go up to 200,000. That's for your stuff. Pick up the house, turn it upside down, and shake it. Everything that falls out is your personal property.
Mm,
The
oh,
landlord owns the rest. Your
okay.
stuff is what you cover and your liability. As
Mm,
a renter, you are still liable if your dog bites someone. If someone slips and falls, they're going to name you and your landlord in the lawsuit.
okay.
That protects you. You still have assets as a renter.
Mm,
Hopefully,
yeah.
hopefully you've got money and you want to protect it. Let the insurance company be your attorney and pay what you're sued for.
Okay.
So, and one thing is loss of use coverage. I had a claim where there was a fire in the basement. The smoke damage went all through the house and they couldn't live there anymore. What
Oh.
this does is pays for a place for them to stay while we take care of the house and get it back to where it was.
Mm.
That is a huge part of renter's insurance that we paid out a lot on.
Oh, so you guys paid for people to,
Hmm.
okay, that's,
Yep, and that's
uh,
included in the homeowners too, but people don't think about that as a renter. You don't, you
mm,
want to be able to stay in a place comparable to where you are if the worst happens.
yeah. Oh my goodness. Now, yeah, because the house, my client was living in Plymouth Lake, and then while we was in escrow, the buyer's agent called me. She's really cool. I like her. She was like, there was a claim. And I was like, really? But it was no fire because if you remember, there was a fire kind of like near Plumes Lake and the
Hmm.
ashes went over
Yes.
there. And then
Yeah.
somebody kind of knocked on their door and stuff, was talking to, about it and in the claim. So they want to file like a little claim or something because the ashes went. you know.
Hmm.
So it's just like what does that fall under? Does that just follow under what kind of claim is that? It's not
Sm
fire claim, is it?
Smoke damage is it's
Okay.
fire, smoke. That's what my claim was on that renter's insurance policy. There
Mm,
was no actually fire damage, but the fire for the washing machine caused so much smoke damage it ruined all her things.
wow.
So that's her personal property got ruined, and we had to clean up all the shelves and the countertops from smoke that she had little kids. You can't have ashes and smoke
Oh
in your
no.
house. So
No.
that's covered the same as fire for the same
Wow.
amount.
So even if the ashes go onto your property, that's
If you're
wow.
renting, if it's just on the roof, that's the landlord takes care of that,
Yeah.
the structure. But if
Yes.
it's your stuff that got ruined like hers did, that's what your renter's insurance kicks up.
Oh wow. Yeah, I was kind of shocked when I was like, oh, you could get it from that. You can file a claim from ashes.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
it's just crazy.
It's real.
So as farmers, so if I had a client that wants to move to Orville, uh, you know, Yuba City, all that stuff,
Hmm.
where the fire, especially like Paradise, you
Yes.
know, is
Yeah.
so farmers they can get insurance, but it just may be higher.
Yes.
Oh,
So farmers can write the DIC, the RAP policy, and then we would write the California Fair Plan for the fire portion.
oh wow.
If
Now,
it's in a fire line,
is this just California or is it other other states too? Are you
it's
licensed in other states?
I'm not yet, but I'm thinking about it.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't blame you. Yeah, yeah. But
Because
California, we're the ones, are we the only ones with this fire issue and stuff?
I know Florida is worse off than we are.
Oh,
Florida just has so much going on that most carriers won't even write there. There's special insurance carriers that will write in the whole state of Florida.
my
So,
clients moved there too.
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
So Florida is crazier than us. Texas is high just because, you
Oh,
go to those hurricanes. We have fires and earthquakes.
uh-huh.
They have hurricanes, tornadoes, each
Oh,
area has different
oh,
things. And we have floods too where we
mm,
don't have tornadoes though. So tornadoes is covered under your basic homeowners policy. But out there, they're more likely to get a hurricane, tornado in those other states. And their rates are higher than ours. We think we're high. They're
really?
probably 3 times as high as ours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of earthquakes, my son called me a couple weeks ago when they had an earthquake in the Bay.
Hmm.
So how? from Sacramento and, in the Bay, is it different? Is the insurance much higher because there's more chances of earthquakes or,
Yes.
I mean,
Everything has to do with risk. If you're
mm,
more likely to have something happen, fire,
mm,
earthquake. If you're in San Francisco or Los Angeles, your earthquake rates are going to be way higher than mine because we are less likely to have an earthquake. So they're going to charge less. In San Francisco, you're more likely to have an earthquake, so they're going to pay more for that insurance.
mm. They only got to worry about the earthquakes. They got to worry about them damn cars with no drivers.
Oh yeah,
What
I've heard some fun things about those.
if you get hit by one of those and stuff? You know what I mean? How
They
does that, who,
Whoever owns them has insurance.
okay, so you,
The owner.
like, oh my God.
What other company has those things? It's so weird to see them. I can't believe
Yeah,
it's
my
real.
son pulled up next to one. When I was out.
Like who in the world?
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw then, like a couple weeks later, this guy was going live and the thing was going round and round. It wouldn't stop.
Oh my
Yeah. And
gosh.
I was like, oh man, I wouldn't even get in a car with no driver and drive
Nope,
with me. No, no, no. Yeah,
not yet.
so
Give
that's
me
crazy.
Let him practice on other people.
Yeah. Now, is it good when you're buying a house to ask for a clue report? And can you let them people know what a clue report is?
Yes. So when we put in an address, let's say you're showing a house in any area, we put in the address. That pulls up if there's been any claims on the home in the last 5 years. So
Okay.
that tells you if they've had existing water, they should disclose that in your disclosures, of course. But our reports are from Clue, and
Mhm.
that shows the date, the amount that was paid out, and what the claim was. If we have the client's information too, we can see if they've had any past claims from other homes that they lived in. That helps us find the rate that's appropriate for your client. Share all this information with your agent, with your insurance agent, because we genuinely try and help get the lowest rate we can. So if we know someone has two claims, we know it's going to take a little longer to get those quotes back because
Mhm.
it's a higher risk to have more claims on. So yes, absolutely um, try that address with your insurance person and hopefully the name too, and you know exactly what you're looking at, and we can give you a general quote on what you're looking at for premium when you close the loan.
So with buyers, you guys, when they're buying another home and stuff, say they already owned a home or, so you guys research and see if they have any claims.
Yes, we look at
So
the
you don't
client
only do
and the property.
wow, the property and the buyer.
Yes.
Wow. Now that's
If
something
times are changing, we used to only go by the client, not the house, because we assume that the house is fixed, so who cares? But now they look at the person and that's buying and the property. And most
wow.
companies are looking at both.
When did they
And 5 years back instead of 3 years back, the insurance world is just chaotic right now.
so
That
that's only
changed when all the carriers started leaving. The carriers that
oh.
remained panicked and kind of tightened that underwriting and tried to reduce risk as much as they can while still staying active and able to write policies for people.
Oh, wow. Wow. So
It's
that's
one of the
if they
changes.
got any like claims on the inside the home and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Not car accidents, y'all.
Nope.
It's
Nope.
just the home. This is all about home. This ain't, about the car accident. But yeah, wow. I just realized that. I didn't realize they look at the buyer when they did it. So now,
Yes.
okay, so any realtor that catches us now or the replay and stuff, that's a good question that we need to start asking our buyers that are buying. If this is not their first time buying a home within the last, what, 5 years?
Hmm.
Then we need to ask them, have you had any insurance claims? It's funny because, the disclosures, they ask the seller that,
Hmm.
but there's no disclosures asking the buyer that.
That's why I recommend realtors get quotes early and often. Check a few carriers, so
Hmm.
they know that early too. If we know the address and the people's names, we can run that so we can see what's on their record. not record,
Yeah.
but what's on the clue report.
Yeah. But just want to clear it up. So you run the address that they want to buy, right?
Yes.
But is it also good, like, for our clients that have owned a home before, within the last 5 years, even though they haven't picked out a property, can, but we should be asking that
Hmm.
question to them. Have
Yeah.
you had any insurance claims?
Yes.
Okay, so what if they have had insurance claims? It's gonna be hard for them to get one on the new property?
Especially right now. Yes.
Eesh, you gotta be joking
Yes.
me. Oh my
And
goodness.
that's from yeah, under once this chaos settles down, I see things going a little more back to normal. I hope, but I thought it'd be better by now. But these carriers aren't coming back, the big ones. Um,
Oh,
the underwriting's starting to release a little bit, at least with my company. Um, we there used to be waiting periods to get a new auto insurance policy, and it was
mhm,
all carriers had this waiting period. Now that's gone. So someone can, so they're lightening up as the longer it gets when they realize that the changes they made um, are reducing risk, then they're able to lighten up a little bit like it used to be. I used to be able to bind houses like this. Now we're like, give us at least, 2 weeks before close. And we used to do same day closes for our realtors. But
my
now the
days. Oh my
industry is
goodness.
so crazy. Get insurance as soon as they truly want a house. I say, I say, run that address. We do it all day. The
But
people
but
throw
it's but the
addresses
thing
at us
is,
and
it's not about the address anymore. You got to ask the
and the
buyers.
client.
So if they have one claim within the last 5 years, it's going to be difficult for them to get a homeowner's insurance on a new property.
For us, no, but for other carriers, some take two claims, but we would find someone who takes two claims.
What are you
Um,
guys' max?
one. We allow one. We can try and get underwriting approval for something, like if there's no payout, or
Yeah.
we can just, or if it's small, we can request that they still write it. But that's the general rule right now. It
Okay,
used to be much lighter.
so if they had two, it's going to be very, very difficult.
Now we're used to these new rules, so we have carriers that will cover it. The
Okay.
problem is once you have more risk, then you know how I was talking about an admitted carrier is
Uh-huh.
regulated by the state of California.
Mhm.
The non-admitted carriers take these higher risks. So if I had someone with three claims, four claims in 3 years, we had to put them with a non-admitted carrier, which is fine. That's what they're there for. But their rates are not regulated by the Department of Insurance. So that's when they can raise rates as much as they want.
It's like a hard
Um,
money loan.
yes, absolutely.
Oh,
And but they give warning before they do that, so they have time to shop around, and we help them, look for things if they do that. But there still is competition. So hopefully they don't do that, but they're not regulated by the state.
oh
So
my
when
God.
there's a high risk, we kind of
Mm.
put it in a place that can handle higher risks.
So my question is, what is the cutoff? Okay, so say somebody owned a home for 10 years, right? In the first couple years of owning it, they had a claim, right? Then they didn't have a claim for like 5 years, and then they had another claim. So is the claims for the total amount that they own a home, or is it just like within 5 years?
They only look 5 years.
Okay. All right.
Hopefully it'll look 3 years again.
Yeah.
because, but right now most carriers are 5 years looking back.
Okay. Okay. And you guys, and I just want to clear this up. That's for any, if you call your homeowner's insurance for leaks, anything, any type of claims. That's what she's talking about. It's not just fire, okay? Or busted pipes and stuff like that. So, wow. Wow,
Mhm.
wow, wow. That's interesting. Okay.
And that's why it's important kind of consult with your agent too if you're not sure. Like fire claims, huge water claims, turn them in immediately.
Mhm.
But you have an agent for a reason. Consult with them. Say, "Hey, this is happening. Do you think I should turn the claim in?" You always can, but your agent is there to help consult with you, tell you what happens if you do turn the claim in, if the rates go up or not.
Mhm.
Um, if it's close to your deductible, or it may not be the right thing to do, but
Wow.
they can always turn it in. But maybe talk it through with your agent. Talking through with your agent does not mean you're turning the claim in. You're talking to us, the agency. If you call the 800 number, the claims department, that's turning a
Yeah,
claim
that's
in.
turning in. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
talking to your agent, that's not turning a claim in yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And when she says talking to your agent, she means insurance agent, not real estate
Yes.
agent.
Sorry.
So just want to kind of, clear it because we ain't gonna know nothing about it. We're gonna call her. So
I don't give real estate advice. You guys don't give insurance advice.
and I don't want to. So wow. Okay. So is there anything else you feel like we should, they should know about?
Yeah, for discounts, look for occupational discounts.
What is that?
Some A lot of people have like work for the state of California. My husband works for the state. If I just when I'm taking the information for a new home,
Mm,
we give discounts for a lot of occupations, a lot of licenses. If
mm,
I stopped, if asking my husband, "Hey, where do you work?" State of California. Okay, if I stop there, no discount. But then I go, "Do you have a degree in anything, a bachelor's degree?" He goes, "Yeah, information technology." That's a scientist discount for my carrier. A lot of carriers
mm.
have these. That's 10% off their home and cars
Oh,
right
really?
there. So definitely check with your carriers, see if there's discounts for occupations, teachers, firefighters, police officers, realtors. There's discounts for a lot
Oh,
of
discounts for
not
realtors?
mine, but yes, for realtors.
Oh, wow.
Um, don't let your policy cancel or lapse for any reason right now. You don't want to. A lot of carriers aren't writing new policies, so if your policy goes
Mm.
out of force, they won't write it again. You have to find another carrier to write it because they've stopped writing new policies.
So what happened in Southern California? They said a lot of those people, that policies, they got canceled.
They probably got canceled a couple years ago and they didn't replace their insurance. You have to get insurance to have it
Mm,
covered. So if
yeah.
they got non-renewed, they had plenty of warning
Mm,
that they were being non-renewed by, let's say, State Farm.
mm.
Um, then what you do is get the California Fair Plan with the difference in conditions. That's what you do. You don't just self-insure.
So
So
it's
if,
like driving a car.
yeah,
You don't have a house without insurance. It's like you don't drive, you're not supposed to drive without insurance.
right.
So even if your current company, cancels you, what she's saying is there's other places. So you have to do that research and
Mhm.
everything. And a lot of times if you call like, Chrissy, she would look, if she can't do it, she has a network,
Mhm.
that she can, refer to and stuff. So there's really no reason, just like when you're driving, you should have insurance. So there's no reason if you own a home to be without insurance and stuff.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
renters, rent insurance is good too because everything's just happening lately. So with rent insurance, is that for if somebody breaks into your house too or no?
Yep, that
Okay.
covers your personal property. There are limits on jewelry usually. Jewelry, firearms, watches, so check with your carrier. If
Mm,
you have a $40,000 engagement ring,
mm.
that would probably need like a separate little policy called a floater.
Oh.
That covers it like its own policy because there's limits on your personal property. Like say I have 100,000 in personal property on my policy, my 40,000 ring will probably be covered for $1,000 unless I
Mm,
add that on.
okay.
If you have big gun collections, get that insured,
Mm,
separately. But otherwise, yes, that's what your renter's insurance is for.
mm,
Someone steals your computers, your TVs, phones, those
yeah.
all add up.
Mhm.
That's what your renter's insurance covers.
Oh, wow. Okay. Um, that was good. I learned, thank you. I learned so much, also. Um, let me see. Let me go back. Okay. Yeah, I learned a lot and stuff. So, I guess people might be eating dinner or something. All of a sudden when I check in about an hour or two, there'd be a lot of views.
Okay.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. Like, oh, what's you talking about? So, is there anything else that you want to, go over before we
Um,
end it?
no, you already talked about bundling, try and package together for discounts. follow the laws, try not to get a lot of tickets to keep your auto rates low.
Yes.
Um,
Mhm.
and
Slow
absorb
down,
small
y'all.
claims. Yeah. Absorb small claims if you're able to.
Mm,
Save the coverage for catastrophic events.
yeah.
So higher deductibles if you can. If you can't, don't do it. But yeah, if you can do higher deductibles, that's a big way to save on all your policies, including car insurance.
Now, how can people get in touch with you?
You can send me an email, crodda at farmersagent.com, or call us 916-428-4520. I have 8 staff. 4 of them speak Spanish. If anybody needs
Mm.
some help with Spanish speakers,
What area is
they're
your office located?
we're in South Sacramento, kind of
Okay.
south of the zoo, the Sacramento
Oh,
Zoo.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we service all over California, so we
Okay.
we ride all over.
And just so to let you guys know, it's C as in cat, and it's R as in Robert, O, D as in David, D as in David, A. Okay. So that's and then you can also find her business page on Facebook, right? You have the business
Yes,
page and stuff.
yes, I do.
Yeah. Not a personal, her business page. She has a business page. Okay. So don't be sending her a whole bunch of friend requests. Go to the business page, okay? So all right. I appreciate you for taking the time, to do this,
Sure.
and to, give out this information and everything. I learned a lot, in this, even though it was only like 37 minutes, but it was a good 37, minutes, now I know I need to, like when I have clients and stuff, not only do we ask, have you owned a home before? In the last five, especially in the last 5 years, now I've got to ask, did you have any insurance claims? So yeah, that's something that I have learned, tonight and stuff. And I appreciate, you for that and stuff. So, um, all right. Anything else? Do you have Instagram or anything like that? Or
Yes, I do.
okay.
Um,
Just trying to remember she like me.
I know. I don't know what it is. Obviously, I'm Facebook mostly.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? One thing about you, you support all the realtor events. When I see you, a lot of you don't see too many insurance agents out at SAR at the meeting, and I think you do the women's council and stuff too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like you don't see and thank you for being involved, with us and everything. So, and that's how I got to know you,
Mm-hmm.
was seeing you all the time at the events and everything. So, and that
Uh-huh.
makes such a big difference, And I tell agents, try to make every event. I'm going to be at the one on what is it? When's the second? To Wednesday? Yeah, I think on Wednesday
Wednesday.
I'm gonna be at SAR learning about the new rules for the tenant occupied.
Ooh, yeah. They
Yeah,
have
so
good classes there.
yeah, because there's always something. Are you gonna be at that one too?
Not that one.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Jenna Reyes is gonna be there and stuff, but tenant laws are always changing too. Now, and that kind of ties in with insurance laws and stuff. You got to
Hmm.
stay on top of it and stuff. So. But anyhow, but thank you again. I'm gonna let you finish out your evening, go eat dinner.
All righty. Well, hope I was able to give a little extra information. So
Yes, no, you really did, and I appreciate you, and I'm looking forward to working with you. All right.
sounds great. All
Okay.
right.
All right. See
Thank
you later.
you.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye.